Hello, welcome to the RANsquawk market commentary today, 20th of July. European equities moving higher today as risk appetite increased on hopes that US earnings will continue to pleasantly surprise this week as they have done in the previous week. Also on news that CIT Group have reached an agreement to secure funding that will help the stricken lender avert bankruptcy. Consequently, we've seen the dollar index move markedly lower, down around 0.7% at its low, along with the Japanese yen also moving to the downside, and conversely, the high-yielding currencies such as the Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar, moving in the opposite direction to the upside. WTI has also been a beneficiary of a weaker dollar, climbing to $64.90 a barrel at its high. Elsewhere, T-notes, they've traded to the downside today, touching on lows 115.26.5 as demand for US debt declined as economic optimism increased following Peter Orszag, who is the White House budget officer, comments who said that Q2 GDP was likely to show some signs of stabilization in the economy, while the National Association for Business Economics quarterly industry report also struck a similar note, with economists saying the recession appears to be easing, though it's likely that it has not ended as yet. On the earnings front, we've seen Halliburton report Q2 EPS that beat analysts' estimates, coming in at 30 cents ex items versus the expected 27 cents that analysts were looking for. Company revenue also beating the consensus. Elsewhere, Johnson Controls reporting Q3 EPS at 26 cents a share versus the expected 19 cents, though their revenues were slightly lower than the consensus at $6.98 billion. Also, in just the last few minutes or so, we've seen US leading indicators data coming out at 0.7% versus the expected 0.5%, with US equity just taking a bit of a lift in the last few minutes. Also worth noting, broker moves today of note. S&P 500, Goldman raised their points target to 1,060, and EPS estimate for the index at $75 versus previous estimate of 63. Also, Caterpillar raised to buy from neutral at Bank of America. Cisco upgraded to outperform from neutral at Credit Suisse, and Disney upgraded to overweight from equal weight at Morgan Stanley. Tells you where we currently stand in the US indices after around half an hour's trade. Just seeing Dow Jones Industrial Average and S&P 500 Index both up around 0.6%, while Nasdaq Composite just marginally ahead of its counterparts, up around 0.8. Also, Europe obviously performing well. European bourses up between 1 and 1.3% at last check. In terms of best performing sectors in the SPOOs at the moment, seeing basic materials, industrials, as well as oil and gas sectors all leading the way in that index. So just looking ahead to the rest of the session at 6:30 London time, that's 12:30 Chicago time. We're looking out for comments out of Fed's Lockhart. Also after market today, earnings from Boston Scientific and Texas Instruments.